Hey everybody, my name is Matthew Sambanis. I'm a certified public accountant. My firm is based in Long Island, New York, and in today's video we are going to discuss California and its $20 an hour minimum wage and the failure that it is, and I'd also like to point out a few other failures of California, or achievements if you're Gavin Newsom and you want to look at it in that light. So first achievement California has achieved is they have the highest poverty rate. Actually, 20% of California lives in poverty, which is absolutely mind-blowing considering it's the largest state in the country. Another achievement, crown, and award to California is it has the highest gas taxes. Third achievement would be highest income taxes. You can't make this up. They have record homelessness despite spending $20 billion a year on it to combat it, which is mind-blowing. I mean, even if you just took $20 billion and gave it out, divided it equally amongst all the homeless people, that'd probably get them enough money to get by, or at least go to another state and afford something. And now the highest fast food prices. We're not even going to get into the education failures of California, and the fact that businesses are now fleeing California twice as fast as they were before, which is absolutely huge. So, this $20 minimum wage was set into effect for restaurants that have, fast food chains that have more than 60 restaurants nationwide. So you could have 55 restaurants in New York and 5 in California. And the result of that is now you need to pay your staff $20 an hour. The catch to that is if you're an actual high-end restaurant like a Blackstone or Peter Luger's, or like Gavin Newsom's restaurant that serves $67 steak, you're actually not subjected to that law because, that's how they wrote the law. And so you only need to pay $16 an hour or $16.50. And if you're Panera or if you're any company that bakes bread on site before the law came into effect, you're not subjected to it. And that begs the next, bullet point, which is Panera's CEO and owner was a very large contributor to Gavin Newsom, so you'd have to ask why they had that carve out there, and it was because of political donations, which is basically corruption in my opinion. And the answer would be, you do the math. And if minimum wage was so good, why not make it $25 an hour or $30 or $40 or $50 an hour? And not only that, why not just do it for every business in California and New York and statewide for that matter? Exactly. It's not that good. And it prevents people from working, meaning if I want to pay somebody $10 an hour to do yard work at my house, or do cleaning work at my firm, and I want to put them on the books and do everything on the up and up, which of course I would do, and they want to work for $10 an hour as an entry job, they should be able to. But now this prevents people who want to get a first-time job, who's going to pay $20 an hour. And not only that, it's going to make those jobs, to get a job there at a fast food restaurant, that much more in demand. So if you're working at a chain that only has, say, 5 restaurants and you're making $16 an hour, I guess you're going to work extra hard to go get a job at Chipotle, who has to pay you $20 an hour. What is, some of the consequences so far? Well, businesses fleeing the state twice as fast as which I mentioned before. Higher menu prices. Case in point, Jack in the Box just raised their prices by 11% in California. By the way, if you're in California or any other state or you've visited California, leave a comment below. Let me know your experience. Let me know your opinion. It means the world to me, and it gives me different insights in case I'm missing something. Another unforeseen consequence is going to be machine automation, and machine automation a lot quicker. And what happens with automation is, it might be prohibitively expensive in the beginning, like when the flat screen TVs first came out, it was $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a 60-inch flat screen TV. Now it's like $400 at Costco. So the more people buy it, the better the technology gets, the cheaper it becomes, and as a result of that, it's a lot easier to do it, and automation results in a lot more job layoffs. Right? You might have some unhappy customers, but it's all machine-based, so I guess go write all the Google reviews you want. Another, effect of this is going to be shrinkflation, right? That's when you go and you buy a hamburger. You used to get a 5-ounce hamburger at Burger King or McDonald's, and now they give you a 4-ounce hamburger. And, what else? Well, there's been a loss of 10,000 fast food jobs so far, including drivers. And what else? Higher prices, which we pointed out, and the demand for people who actually want to get a first-time job and make whatever. I mean, listen, if I was going out and getting a first-time job, I guess $12 an hour would make me happy. I mean, my first job when I was 13, not to age myself, I'm a little embarrassed, was like $4.50, $5 an hour. Maybe it was $5.50 at the high end. So, literally for 15 minutes of my time, I was being paid $1.25. And at least that, yeah, you can make money off of the person, which is what you should be doing. I mean, anybody that works should produce 3 times at the minimum of what they're paid. So if you're paid $10 an hour, you should be producing $30 an hour work. If you're paid $30 an hour, you should be producing $90 an hour work. And we'll leave it at that, so I don't have to get into benefits and all that other stuff. And if you're Gavin Newsom, and in the unlikely event that you're ever going to watch this, which you're not going to, because enough people do like you. Somehow you're the governor of California. You've done a terrible, terrible job. And, there was a recall for you, I believe. And you're still there. I mean, I don't know who would vote for you. And no less, there was talk for you becoming president. I mean, whatever. Not even going to get into it. Anyway, Hollywood Arby's closes after 55 years over California's $20 minimum wage. Like, if you read that headline and you don't say, oh, dog do, what did I do? I don't know what's wrong with you. Fan favorite pizza chain Blaze Pizza flees California as state's $20 an hour minimum wage rages. So Blaze Pizza moved to Atlanta, Georgia, which is going to reduce its corporate tax rate by more than a third. Not for nothing, when you pay taxes, you should get some benefit out of it, right? When you go to your offices in California, you shouldn't have fecal matter and junkies shooting up on the side of the street. You should have nice, clean sidewalks. There is a report that came out that construction workers are actually fleeing certain towns or cities in California and not filling potholes because of how dangerous it is. And so when you have the highest tax rate for corporations and individuals, they should at least get something out of it. You should have police, whatever. Anyway, as I noted before, nearly 10,000 positions across chains from Pizza Hut to Burger King have been cut since the law came into effect on April 1st, according to a report from a trade group. What else has happened? Bear with me. So sorry about this. Last December, Pizza Hut announced it would lay off more than 1,200 delivery drivers across the strait. It switched to independent delivery services. Round Table Pizza laid off 73 drivers. Owner of Vitality Bowl Restaurants now runs his stores with 2 employees, has raised his prices by 10%. He used to have 4 employees on staff. And, long story short is this is also going to result in higher unemployment in California. And California is broke, right? To be exact, California has a $222 billion deficit and is $1.6 trillion in debt. So now you're going to have 10,000 workers who have been laid off who are going to go get unemployment. I'd have to do the math in Excel to start to do it. But that's going to bleed very, very heavily onto California's income statement and balance sheet. And part of the issue now is interest rates are 5.5%. They're not 2-3% anymore. So California was planning to spend about $330 million in interest, which is mind-boggling when they should be running at a surplus if they were run effectively, considering you have that many billionaires. And granted, billionaires, another video for another day, borrow money instead of sell stock. They borrow money against their stock. So when you borrow the money, it's not a taxable event. And then they sell the stock slowly. But again, even at that, they're still paying a ton in taxes legally, as they should be. Or technically they shouldn't be, especially if they're not getting anything for it. But the law is the law, and we have to follow the law, of course. Anyway, California was budgeting for $330 million in interest expense. It's now $500 million. And, another crowning achievement of California, in particular, San Francisco, has a program, and I'll probably just do another video on this because this is just absurd. The obscenity. If I was in San Francisco, I'd say, what the heck is going on? How do you do this? Kind of like when New York City gave away 55 million or 55 in gift cards to migrants, to people who are here illegally. And I understand we need to do our part. We need to help out, but we also want people here who contribute, not just take and mooch off the system. You want people who are an asset, not a liability. Trained, educated, skilled workers is what we want to, import or have coming in. Anyway, San Francisco is giving away taxpayer-funded shots of vodka to homeless alcoholics in $5 million program. And what else? America's worst run city is revealed. It's not New York. That's pretty impressive. It's not Chicago. That's also very impressive. It's San Francisco and Oakland, California. So anything California does, it's mind-blowing. They're the tech hub of the world, but now you have Tennessee, Nashville coming up. You have Texas, you have Miami, and you have Florida, and you have people just fleeing there out of New York, out of California, either zero income tax or very low income tax, or the cost of living is substantially cheaper, and they're benefiting. And you don't have to see people defecating on the side of the road or shooting up or being worried about being robbed point blank or seeing something out of the Wild West. So anyway, hope you found this informative and helpful. If you do, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Again, to summarize this $20 minimum wage is a failure. It's going to be a failure. If it was that great, why not do it for everybody? And obviously, we're not going to. They're not going to. There's going to be massive blowback and long-term consequences as a result of this. Have a great day.